So what we have here is a 1989 Catalina Capri 14.2. I know this is kind of a lazy way to make a video. I just don't have the time to sit there and learn how to, put together a proper video with nice clean edits and cuts. So this is the easiest way to get this out, quick and simple, because I have not found anywhere a video on how to do this repair on this boat, this particular repair, which seems kind of common. There are multiple posts on a Catalina 14 forum about this particular repair, and people seem to approach it in different ways. So this is how I did it. A lot of it's just screen captures. I had all this footage with a GoPro and time lapse and all that other stuff, and the SD card was corrupt, so it's kind of a bummer. But here we go. Here's a little intro to the boat. So this is again 1989 Catalina Capri. I was under the impression that this was a Mod 1 because of the year, but judging by the cubby and the teak, this is actually a Mod 2. I bought this boat off a gentleman not too far from me, and he gave me the boat with the engine for what I thought was a fair price given the repair that it needed. On his second outing, he got dismasted. Basically, the mast dropped straight down through the mast step, as you can see here, right into the cubby, whatever you want to call it. I would say a cubby because it's a little compartment. But anyway, crushed the cubby. Giant hole in the deck here, which is unfortunate, especially for someone out there on the water trying to learn how to sail, and then something like this happens. Luckily, the mast didn't get knocked down or hit anybody, just fell straight into the boat. He was able to get it to shore safely, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, kind of unfortunate. If you're curious about what I paid for the boat, he had it up for $5. I asked him if he would take $4, and he did. And then he said he had a motor for it, brand new motor, only ran twice. He gave me the motor for $250, and I did run the motor. I did put the boat in the water to run the motor. The motor just it ran terrible. Just probably from sitting for a long time, kept stalling, idling up and high, surging. Eventually, I got the motor back to the house, and I probably should have ran it a bucket first, but didn't. Anyway, opened up the carburetor, looked clean as a whistle. Just cleaned all of the jets, all that fun stuff, and put some seafoam in there, soaked it, ran it with some seafoam in it, and now it runs almost perfect. It could probably use a plug, to be honest with you. Anyway, motor runs good. Sails are in nice shape, and funny enough, the sails were last serviced in 1997. We're about to see the little tag now on the sail as soon as I get over there. And it just so happens this place is 20 minutes from my house as well. So they're close. If I ever need to get the sail serviced, take it over there, get them serviced. Nice boat, nice little trailer. And that's about it. So we'll just run through some of these screenshots, and I'll go step by step of what I did here. So there is basically the support beam for the mast, right underneath the mast step, solid piece of wood. The boat's over 35 years old. It's an 89, so years of getting water in there just took its toll on the wood. It was rotted. There you go. Another shot, a whole piece of wood that came out. Here we go on the other side. Um, you can see how the wood, some of the wood is still basically stuck to the fiberglass, basically pulled apart from itself up here, and down here. And if you sit back and you look at this, it's like a perfect encasement of the fiberglass. Here's my new piece of marine grade lumber, which was $150 for a 4x8 sheet. I only need a little piece, didn't have remnants, so I was stuck buying it. You can see how many pieces this old piece of lumber kind of just, that's how it came out. It was just, completely destroyed, unfortunately. Originally, I was going to just wedge the wood up in there just like this and build this up with fiberglass, but I wanted a good adhesion with the wood and the existing fiberglass, so I thought it was better just to cut it out, and you'll see that eventually. Here's a little dry fit. Basically, here are your upright supports for the wood, and it's basically only glassed, where it meets our masked up support beam right here, and then up in the corners. The rest of this is just bare wood, and it's only 1/4 inch. You'd think it would have been bigger than that, but it's not. Here goes the hole. I cut that entire triangle out. I thought it was just better for the strength instead of, trying to glue old wood to new wood. Had to take my piece of teak off here. And then there's a dry fitment. So here we go. We're getting ready to start doing some glass. I had this woven, and I'm sorry, the woven mesh, and then I forget what this other style fiberglass is called. It's like a pull apart, like a mesh. You can pull it to pieces real easy. I basically laid it down. Every other layer was a different piece of different type of the glass. Went from mesh to the woven, mesh to the woven. There it is again. I know that's only 2 pieces, but it wound up being like 6 pieces altogether to fill that in. There's the pre-resined support beam, because the wood will suck up some of the resin, so I was giving it a chance to do that. Then I wrapped a piece of glass, or I know this looks crappy, but all the forces on this is down. This piece of wood is not moving side to side, front to back. So anyway, I did clean this up because I wanted to put a piece of glass from the old up here to the new, kind of sealed in like the old one was. Here you go. Here's another shot. There's a little piece I put in there to fill that little gap in. And there's my little video after it was cured. It's been a couple days. I mean, rock hard. Okay, so we got it all glassed in, layer by layer, sanded it down. Right here was kind of a low spot. In hindsight, if I could have done this again, I would have cut a little round piece of glass to bring this up instead of building it up with the fairing material, which is basically just Bondo for boats. Got my primer, my epoxy paint. Unfortunately, it was a lot whiter than the rest of the boat. I couldn't find an off-white, or West Marine didn't have it anyway. And these cans of paint are not cheap. They're like $30 a piece. This was a little, strengthening piece of wood for the beam that runs underneath the boat. This was all bare wood. Just for the hell of it, I threw some glass on it. It can't hurt. Same with this right here. This was delaminated. I beefed this up as well. Same with my side support beams. This was all bare wood. So I strengthened them up a little bit with some fiberglass. Can't hurt, right? Here's my final piece of glass on the inside from the old to the new. While it was still tacking up, I did get these pressed down, so it's all flush now. It's all nice and flat. Like I said, again, all the forces are down. This isn't pulling up, you know. There's another shot, right? So now we have to center the mast step. And according to the drawings for the boat, center of the boat is basically center of the keel to the center of the front of the boat. And I ran that with a string line. And then our front to back centering reference in the drawings is a 1/4 inch from the teak to the mast step. Unfortunately, I ran out of resin. I wanted to fix this with glass, and I just wound up sandwiching, you know, a piece of wood in there and left it at that. Maybe next year I'll pull it back out and fix this right. For now, I spent enough money on this boat. I just want to get it on the water, so this is a fix for another day. But right now, it's holding up and it's in the boat and it's doing what it's supposed to do. So here we go. We have our mast step bolted with through bolts, thin through bolts. Originally, from the factory, they were just like 1.5 inch wood screws, stainless steel wood screws. And the reasoning behind that was, I'm assuming, so if you were to lose some rigging, get dismasted, the screws would pull out of the wood instead of doing major damage to your fiberglass and all that stuff. I kind of opted for it to be strong, so I put the through bolts in there. You know, maybe one day I might regret that, but you know, it is what it is. It seems like all of the boats that I have seen online that have done this repair anyway were all through bolted. So at some point, they've all had their screws ripped out, and I just don't feel like dealing with that. So here we go. We're all painted. We're all primed and painted. This is basically the final position. I used marine silicone, the 4000. I didn't want to use 5200. So this is 4000. It's all down inside the holes. If I had more resin, I would have resined down inside the holes to seal them up, but this 4000 should do just fine. And then here we go again. We got the cubby in. We got our zip up bag in there. Just here's another shot. Got the mast all set back up, looking good. Got our Windex up there. And then and into this, as we speak now, I still haven't mounted this piece of teak. I want to get the dowels like we have here to hide the holes and restain over them so they look, re-lacquer over them so they look nice and clean. I just haven't done it yet. That's literally the last piece that needs to be done. Little close-up shot. Here we are again. And there it is. All finished. This is one more thing I want to talk about here with this. Let me find that video. So here are some shots from the inside. And I would say the only thing that would hinder somebody from doing this repair would be how big you are. I'm 5'9", I'm 160. I'm not a large man. So it's much easier for me to fit inside here, and it certainly makes the work a lot easier to do as well. The only downfall would be, squeezing out of there and not getting any of the resin and stuff on you. Some guy like 6 foot, broad shoulders, he's going to be sticking his head and his arms inside here and working like that, and that's very uncomfortable, but still doable. So something to think about. I thought it was interesting in this boat, there's these little, let me see if I can find them here. Okay, on the right hand side here, you have these little bulkheads. And I'm assuming, here we go. There's actually flotation bags in here from this bulkhead all the way back. And I'm assuming this little bulkhead, which is not load bearing or any strength or structure in any means, it's just meant to keep them bags from floating to the front. Maybe they wanted all the buoyancy to be in the back if you turtled or you started taking on water. I don't know what the thinking is behind it, but I just thought I would show that there. But yeah, it's really tight in here. But getting inside all the way does make it a lot easier. Um, so yeah, anybody about thinking about doing this repair, don't be scared to do it. Um, it's definitely doable. Here was like our point 0.5, you know, maiden voyage. I don't really count it as a true maiden voyage because I basically put it in the water just to make sure it was watertight, um, to check how the motor ran, which that day ran terrible. I decided to just put it in the water before actually running the motor. Probably not smart, but oh well. Um, and it was also extremely windy the day I put this in. I had no intentions of putting the sails out at all. That's why I had the mast and the mainsail wrapped up in the bottom. But while I was out there, wound up pulling out the jib anyway. So, main voyage point 0.5. The real maiden voyage would be when I can get this when the weather clears up because it's been raining out here for the last 3 days. When the weather clears up, get it back on the water and do a real sail for my first time ever. So anyway, that's my boat. There's the repair that I did, and if you have this same boat, don't be scared to fix it yourself. It's not that hard. There's some really good videos online on how to do fiberglass work. Um, just YouTube how to do fiberglass on a boat, and there's plenty of videos showing you how to do it. I literally watched one, and this was the result. So, good luck to anybody trying this repair. Have a nice day.